So I will do it now. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. My name is Jagyo Jagannath Das, and we are at the forum of Harinam Sankirtan Bhakti Vriksha Discovery Gardens. Today, at the beginning of the session, Sumangal Prabhu and his family have sung a very beautiful bhajan, Doyal Nitai. And then we read the translation also. While reading the translation of the last verse, there Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very emphatically telling that you can get the vision of Radha and Shama if Lord Gauranga's mercy is there. And Lord Gauranga's mercy is just there if we just develop the taste for chanting. He doesn't consider any offenses or anything. Both Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya are so merciful. Just if we develop the taste, it's there, and then you can really get the vision. So taking the cue from that line, one thought triggered in my mind that I wanted to share with you, an experience that I had when I was reading a book by name Kamala Devi's Path to Goloka Vrindavan. As I told before, the book, when I picked it up, it was gifted by Hamsa Gopal Prabhu. I must thank him for this valuable gift to me. And when I started reading the book, I could not put it down until I completed it. And in between 3 times, I had to pause the book and cry. So this is it. This is my experience, and the book is there with me. When I come back to Dubai, you're most welcome to pick it up. Book is very small book, less than even 100 pages, and less than the A5 size. So you can imagine, it's not a very big book. It can be done in 3-4 hours. So first, let me start with the main personality of the book. That is Her Grace Kamala Devi. She is a well-known congregational member. She was, unfortunately, a congregation of Mauritius, and she passed away when the age of when she was 57, and this book is about last stages of her life, and this book is not written by somebody just like that. This book is a transcription of the audio tapes that were recorded during the last days of Kamala Devi and few memories about Kamala Devi. So it's a very authentic version, and it is also somebody who's not very far away from us. She was a contemporary of us, and she passed away. She left the material world 4 or 5 years back. So it's very real in life. And Kamala Devi is a Mauritius devotee. In Mauritius, we have several centers. ISKCON has several centers and very, very thriving centers in Mauritius. Mauritius, as such, is a very devotional place where the early migrants from India were all from Bihar, and most of them are devotees. And when they went to Mauritius to make their life, most of them went as laborers, but because of their hard work and perseverance and honesty that they showed to the masters, they also got a lot of opportunities. And there are many rich people, many rich Indian origin, naturalized Mauritians, and most of them are Hanuman, Ram and Hanuman devotees. So I believe in the Mauritius, you find the deity of Hanuman in many houses, whether ISKCON or non-ISKCON. Just like the way in Maharashtra or in some place in South India, in some place in Karnataka, and some places, the places where I hail from, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, we have the deity of Ganesha in the front of house, right? And Mauritius has a very thriving ISKCON centers, very nice devotees. And of course, Madhava Prabhu, a very, very famous Kirtaniya in ISKCON, is also from Mauritius. And Mauritius is the only country in the world where the police do not have guns. They only have lathis. So you can imagine the civil and criminal, the context of Mauritius. So it's a very nice country, scenic country. So apart from that, Kamala Mataji, she hails from a very affluent family. They have, I think, paint business or something like that. And they're very, very successful business people. Indian origin, but several generations they were settled in Mauritius. And she came in contact with ISKCON during her mid part of her life. And her husband is also a doctor, a very famous doctor. So, and she has got 2 kids, one daughter and one son. And for her, the life was going like a dream. And then she came in touch with ISKCON devotees. And even though she is very rich, uh, she by nature she had a very natural devotion. So what happened when she came to ISKCON? That seed of devotion had a very fertile ground to be nourished by the many visiting devotees and the local devotees, and that flourished. And making use of her position, being in a family of a very rich business family, Mataji started contributing a lot of money. Their family contributed a lot to ISKCON Mauritius and other projects in the world. And not only that, they just were satisfied by contributing to the money, they also used to serve the visiting Maharajas, taking care of them. And also, Mataji had a very special liking to actually directly come to the lowest level to do direct service. I mean, she was also doing that hard work, what that gets into the service when she has to deliver service to the devotees. And over and top of it, she also was reading a lot with her friends and co-devotees. So that was Mataji, and her life was, and of course, the mercy of Gauranga and Nityananda, as we have seen in the bhajan, was flowing with her. It's very rare to see such devotees with such a fine qualities, and where everybody used to appreciate her and like her. Why they used to like her? Because of her seva bhav, seva bhav that even while being in a very affluent family in a good position in the congregation, but she always used to do very low-end services to please the devotees. And many visiting devotees also were very pleased and they used to bless her. And her dream was going, her life was going like a dream. Nice family pedigree, nice education, famous doctor husband, very nice kids, progressing extremely well in devotion, getting the blessings of acharyas, ability to serve, and she also used to visit Vrindavan now and then. So today's topic is Radha and Krishna Darshan and Vrindavan, right? So this is the background, but this is material world, right? So when her life was going such in a dream state manner, when she was about 55 years old, she went to a normal checkup, and they have diagnosed it. She had a cancer, and naturally, they got some treatment done. They thought that the disease was over, but then disease again came, and it came very aggressively and went into metastasis, the stage 3, stage 4. So the book story starts from that point in time when she reaches the stage 4, and slowly, month by month, despite all the tests and treatment, she's slowly and slowly slipping. So in the course of time, well before this happened, one more thing happened in her life, that she got initiated by his name as Giriraj Maharaj, who's a very dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and she got in, and she also got into the DT service also in the temple. And then when they came to know that this is happening with her and time is ticking now, and how what should we do, and they were trying to do prayers and things like that, and but Mataji herself was knowing that something is going wrong, because the best of the treatment, the cancer is not able to be halted. It's progressing. So as the days nearby, Giriraj Maharaj was also concerned. So much of our devotee friends and Mauritian congregation, the city they were all very saddened by this unfortunate event that happened in a life which was going like a dream. And this is also one important lesson that we can learn from this, is that despite you are in such a fantastic position, despite you are doing such a fantastic devotion service, still the play of material world can be seemingly very harsh, right? So then, obviously, being a devotee, already a very matured, very broad-minded, very well-sided, uh, uh, devotee, mature devotee. So she decided to utilize most of her time in reading and listening, because now she has come to a stage where she was not able to do physical seva. She was almost getting kind of a bedridden, and she was sleeping. So she had some very good friends. So they used to read several Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and so on and so forth. Days were going, and slowly she was sleeping. So Giriraj Maharaj was also concerned, and many devotees who know her were also concerned. So at that point in time in her life, Bhut Bhagavata Maharaj came to Mauritius as the preaching endeavor, and he came to know that Kamala is having going through this, and he knew Kamala Mataji and her husband very well and the whole family. So he contacted Giriraj Maharaj, and Giriraj Maharaj confirmed, and Giriraj Maharaj then requested Bhagat Bhagavat Maharaj to do something to Kamala, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. You can get the vision of Radha and Shyam, if you have the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So something has to be done to further increase the flow of mercy of Chaitanya, so that Kamala leaves the world the way she wanted, remembering Radha and Krishna. But how to facilitate it? She was in this terrible material pain, and treatment has almost stopped. It was a kind of hopeless case. So Brud Bhagat Maharaj, what he did was a fantastic thing. So he shifted his place of residence near to Kamala Mataji's house, and he has decided to stay there for more than what he had come for. And every day he used to go to Kamala Mataji to engage her in discussion. So the book is about how Brod Bunga Maharaj has engaged Kamala Mataji in this. So those lectures were recorded and later transcribed, because Giriraj Maharaj told Brod Bhagavat Maharaj that he has to transcribe it and release it as a book for people to know that things like this happen. The teachings and the songs and bhajans of great acharyas are not just like that. They have some potency and a power to be demonstrated and explained, right? So Giriraj Maharaj starts coming. So that's a part two of the story comes. And actually the book, after giving the initial introduction, starts from this. So the first question Giriraj Maharaj asked is very interesting. So normally, even if the person is not doing well also, suppose assuming, God forbid, if I get a fracture, or if I get some serious illness, or even a semi-serious illness, I'm lying on the bed, and suppose Sumangal Prabhu comes. What's the typical question he would ask? Hare Krishna Prabhu, how are you? Because they want to cheer me up, right? How are you is a typical question we ask, even for a normal person, or even if the person is also not doing well, right? Because our intention is that we wish him good, and we wish him, we want him to be enthused. Like recently, I went to Radhamat Patna Prabhu when he was in hospital, and this is the first question asked: How are you, Prabhu? I know that Prabhu is not well. By the time I visited, he was not well for the last 45 days, going here and there in a not a good condition at all. But still, I asked that question. That's a normal thing, right? But here, Brud Bhagat Maharaj asked Kamala, Kamala, you are in pain, isn't it? That's a question he asked. And Kamala replies very feebly, yes. And then Bruhat Bhagavat Maharaj asks a question. This is, when I'm speaking this, I'm also remembering Sumangal Prabhu about his Nityananda Krupa, the conceptualization that he's trying to work out. Then Bruhat Bhagavat Maharaj asked, is the pain to your body or to your mind? Can you tell? Then Kamala Mataji feebly says that I don't know, but I'm feeling terrible. I'm not in a good position. Then Brodh Maharaj asked the question again. Kindly tell me whether your pain is to your mind or to your body. Then Kamala Mataji waits for some time, and feebly she says, looks like it is to my body. And then Brodh Bhagavat Maharaj says, Kamala, can you transfer your physical pain to your mind? So Kamala doesn't understand that. Obviously, her state was she's in real pain, and we don't know what pain she was going through, right? It must be very terrible pain and discomfort. She says, I don't know, but Brod Bhagavat Maharaj insists her, try to see whether you can transfer your pain to your mind. So basically, he was trying to show her that his body is different and mind and other subtle things are different. Gross body, subtle body, there is a connection, but some things we can disconnect. And then once you put your pain to mind, and you can better connect with the God better. Because at that time we know how to connect with God also in such situations. Otherwise, we'll concentrate more on the pain and how to reduce that pain, and that pain is not going to reduce. Even Kamala also knows it because the situation is different. And then, obviously, because of her situation, she is still not able to figure out how to do that. Then, Brot Bhagavat Maharaj gives a very detailed explanation. I will give that detailed explanation in brief. Basically, he takes her to Ramayana, where so to ask a question, Lakshmana, who was taken a vow to serve Rama when Rama went to Vanvas, what kind of a pain did he have? Was he feeling a physical pain of being a 24/7 assistant to Rama, or was he having a mental pain? He was going through pain. One pain is that why it has happened to Rama. What did Kaikeyi do? And what happened? What transpired? It was mind-boggling for him. And why Rama has to suffer? His dear Lord has to suffer. So that mental pain was there. And so with the mental pain, Lakshmana also had a body pain in the sense it was not a comfortable situation for him. He has to leave his wife, first thing. He was also newly married, right, in that sense. And then he has got a duty of 24/7 of protecting Rama, taking care of his needs. So he very detailedly narrates how Lakshmana also suffered, in a sense, the pain of body and mind for some time. But after the Bharat Ram meet and his thing gets a bit eased out, Lakshmana translates that pain of the physical thing into a pain or a responsibility of that pain to serve Rama, to be connected with Rama. So this kind of very interesting thing that he says, and he keeps asking Kamala Mataji throughout the discussion, are you understanding it? Are you understanding it? And then after a very long discussion, he says, what is your situation now? Then Kamala slowly replies, yes, I'm trying to reduce my pain, material pain. I'm able to slowly transfer that pain to my mind. So that if I get rid of the equation of my material pain doesn't hurt me, then through my mind I can suffer, but at the same time, with that suffering, I can remember the Lord more. So this is slow conclusion that she gets it. And that's an interesting thing. And slowly, like a hypnotist, Brot Bhagat Maharaj is telling, and Kamala Mataji is, and slowly, is responding. And at a time comes and she feels that, and Brot Bhagat Maharaj asks her, how are you feeling now? The question is reversed, right? She says, I'm okay now. Actually, she was still having the pain. Pain did not go, disease did not go. The fact that he transferred that to her mind, so that body leaves. So it's a very important lesson. All of us may not be able to do it, but at least we know that somebody could do this with the help of a devotee and help of the instructions of the Shastra. So then, Bhagat Maharaj asked a very pertinent question. And he knows that she's leaving, right? He's very transparent. Kamala, the time is coming for you to go. So, are there any unfulfilled desires for you in your life? Kamala Mataji's response was very natural and very transparent. Being a woman and being a mother, she says, yes, Maharaj, I have got a lot of things that I have to get in my life, but I'm disappointed and dissatisfied because I'm leaving my children when they're young. I have not fulfilled my responsibility that God has given me to take care of them. This is a very natural, loving thing that Maharaj would expect, right? Like anyone would expect. But very interestingly, Maharaj was able to predict what Kamala would do. So while he was doing session with Kamala in confidence, he was also preparing the two kids, son, daughter, and her husband. So then he says, no, you don't have to worry, Kamala. You have done whatever you could do. Luckily, God has given you some very nice kids, and you have a very devoted and a dedicated husband who's supporting, has been supporting you in Krishna conscious activities. You don't have to feel disappointed. They will take care of themselves. And then he asks the kids to come in front of her, and kids come here and give a beautiful knowledge of their understanding of what is this body and what is this soul. And when time comes, it is good to leave without any those great attachments. And they say that Krishna is there, or daddy is there, or father is there. We will be taken care. Mom, don't worry. Don't keep this baggage of pain with you in the days where you have to concentrate on the Lord. So this, and you can imagine all this is happening live. Huh? You can imagine the maturity of the kids and how Bhagat Maharaj has given the association. This also, this book also is a great book to tell how fortunate we are in ISKCON to get this kind of a living lessons. In any normal material situation, oh, relatives will come, oh, they start crying and doing that and this, a lot of panic could be there. Here, their own kids come, Mama, don't worry, don't worry. And then Giriraj Maharaj asks her, what do you want to do now? So Kamala says, I'm missing Aarti. In between, as she was doing it, whenever she gets a free time from Maharaj, she's still reading and listening from her friends on different topics. So Maharaj then instructs, and obviously they're affluent people, so that making use of it, her whole room gets changed, and their main deity altar of their home comes into her room where she's there, and all the deity worship starts from there, and Kamala keeps seeing that. So this is third stage Maharaj takes her. First, getting the body pain, he taking away and transferring it to the mind. With that mind, the little dissatisfaction that she had, that also easing her out. And then when she wants her to get connected with the Lord, he takes her to and then there's a schedule that is prepared. Continuously some either reading, chanting, and sometimes asking her questions and doing the normal other care. And then Maharaj goes to the fourth phase of his questioning. This is very, very important. In my opinion, I learned a lot in this, and I'm trying to follow wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, that perspective. I'll repeat. This is very important. Kindly listen very carefully. So from that stage, how could Bhagavat Maharaj could transfer Kamala Mataji, okay, consciousness, so that is extremely ready to see Radha and Sham before she leaves. Yeah, how he did it, because Kamala Mataji, apart from her all devotional credits that she has got, she used to either listen or read books. That one thing, and most importantly, whenever she used to visit the holy dhams, for her it was not a normal visit that we go and take some selfies and pictures and meet some devotees and attend some artis and come back and say, oh, we had a fantastic trip. No, she was going through the places and particularly Vrindavan and Mayapur, and she was remembering the past times, and she was telling to the people, always relishing those places of visit of the city. That had increased a love for Krishna and Radha. So Maharaj knew this. Kamala is very unique in this. So what I learned is, ever since I read that book, in whichever pilgrim place I went, I'm making sure that this is my last visit to this place. I'm thinking that this may be my last visit. If this will be my last visit to this dham, how would I try to remember when I'm trying to leave if I get an opportunity? That has to stay in my mind. So I became very serious in understanding the importance of pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is just not going here and there and taking photographs. Previously, half of my job was to go to pilgrimage to show to somebody that I've gone. Right? That whole thing changed. Why? Because in the fourth stage, Maharaj asks, uh, he engages in question answers. It's interesting because Maharaj also now gets a confidence that she is no longer much bothered about her body pain. That is not giving her pain. Her interest is getting connected with the Lord. Particularly, she also crossed another pain point of not being able to serve her son and daughter. Then she asked Kamala, did you visit this place? Kadamba tree there? Did you visit Manas Sarovar? What did you see? What did you not see? And he keeps asking her questions. And obviously, in her state of mind, she is not she's forgetting something, she's remembering something, and Maharaj prods her, sometimes provokes her. She says, "No, Maharaj, I'm not able to remember that place." No, Kamala, think, you can remember, you think, tomorrow I'll come, don't worry. Please let me know. What did you see there? What did you feel? How does it feel to you now to remember the great places? Are you feeling Krishna? Are you feeling Radha? And this is the fourth step he takes. And why I'm telling this important is Kamala Mataji, because when she visited those places, she brought them, she kept preserved those memories in her heart and mind. She enjoyed visiting those places. And that had Maharaja just opened that wall of love and liking of her about the holy Dham. We should also do that whenever we used to. This is very important. And Kamala could very nicely unlock that. And then Bhakti Maharaj takes her to the next level. So he asked her a very, as I told, he used to ask her some provoking questions. So he says, it's very interesting. He says, among the Mayapur and Vrindavan, what do you like? So Kamala is obviously not able to make that judgment, right? So he was trying to be funny with her. Then he says, okay, what do you like in Mayapur? Then she says Radha Sham. And then Bhagat Maharaj asks, what do you like in Vrindavan? He likes Chaitanya and Nityananda. She's a very interesting answer. Then Bhagat Maharaj asks her, are you sure, Kamala? I have not heard this answer from anybody because when people go to Mayapur, they like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda. When they come to Vrindavan, obviously they like Radhasham. What is this connection? So then she basically narrates her own experience of why she says it is very interesting. Case we will not go into that. And then like that, he also says that's a very interesting thing and a very nice thing. Why she's able to tell that is because at every Dham she visited, she got that experience. She tried her best to get that experience into her heart. So that's why these experiences are very personal and they're not perception oriented. They're not something that she took because somebody said that. Like typically everybody would say Mayapur is like Gauranga Prabhu and Vrindavan is Krishna Radha, right? But she saw that because she saw Mayapur and Vrindavan as non-different to each other. Another manifestation of Vrindavan is Mayapur. Another manifestation of Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Krupa is in Vrindavan because it's Gauranga in the last 500 to 600 years, mainly because of Goswamis, which are who are the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has unearthed Vrindavan, which was going into extinction. So he has revealed Vrindavan to the devotees of Krishna. So and then instructed Goswamis also to continue to write literature and do that, right? So it has got a big contribution. So after she thinks and slowly, then he brings her to the sixth stage of her consciousness. So one day she straight away asks her. It's a very difficult question, though. You're sitting in front of a person, a devotee. He asks her something like this, exact verbatim, I don't know, but I don't remember. He says, Kamala, are you getting ready to go? Can somebody ask somebody who's sitting on the, so even though knowing that she's in the last bed, can we go to somebody and say that are we getting ready to go? Then she takes a kind of a deep thing and she thinks and then he says, you don't have to answer me. For some questions, it may not be for this question, but for some provoking questions, he asks, uh, and prodding question. He lets her think, and then next time when he asks, by the time in parallel she is discussing with her friends while they're reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, that and Kirtan was going on. And next time and now, when Maharaj asks her question, she says, Maharaj, yes, yes, I'm preparing to leave. Then he asks her, okay, that's very good that you're preparing to meet Radha and Krishna. Uh, are you getting ready? Then she, with a very feeble voice, she says, yes, I'm getting ready, Maharaj. Then he says, Kamala, what are you seeing now? If you have now planned to leave and you want to go where you are thinking of going, are you seeing something? Or you are just thinking like you have to go? And then she says, Maharaj, I'm seeing something. Seeing kind of a bright light that I'm seeing in one of the places that she visited. And when when she was listening to Katha, I'm not able to remember that place of Vrindavan. She says, I'm seeing the light. And then Mara says, so go beyond the light. Are you seeing anything? Then she says very feebly, Maharaj, I'm seeing so many cows somewhere coming towards me. Or I'm going there. Something is happening. I'm seeing cows. And so Maharaj asks, what, are the cows alone are there? Is something else is there? Then Kamala says, no, Maharaj, I'm seeing a beautiful forest and cows are enjoying. And I just want to see only this thing. And she's no longer talking about pain or anything. Her disease has not decreased, her pain, physical pain has not decreased, but she has transferred her consciousness to some plane. Mara says, is there anything you are seeing? Is there anything that you're saying? So she's trying to say something, but again she's slowly slipping also, material health condition wise. So finally, Maharaj makes her remember so many pastimes of Radha and Krishna connected to specific place of Vrindavan. That is the best part of it. And at each of those points, hi, Jaya, Kamala Mataji, Kamala, Kamala, Kamala remember triggers. Oh my God, I seen this. So Brud Bhagavad Maharaj connects to what she has seen in this material Vrindavan to whether she's seen the same thing in her vision now. Because her vision is beyond the material Vrindavan now, that Maharaj has captured it. So Kamala sometimes hesitates, says no, sometimes yes. But as few days go, and she starts saying, yeah, it looks same. Only the stage is different. There also I'm seeing the same. Krishna Radha playing and Krishna is looking like this, Radha is looking like this. And then what very interesting thing. In that state, when Kamala has reached, he says, Kamala, stay there, stay there. And then he instructs the devotees to start 24-bar Kirtan. So they're chatting 24 hours Kirtan. Of course, not very loudly. Some people are in the room and some people are outside and they're chanting. And one day morning, and many devotees also throughout the world come to know. And because Maharajas, many Maharajas go to, used to go to, are still going to Maharashtra, they know this family and Kamala. So Giriraj Maharaj also comes to know. He also talks to her and then gives her assurance and don't get worried. We all are there to take care of your family. Just stay where you are. You have reached a point very few people can go and very few people are blessed. It's all result of your very pious activities and service to the so many devotees. And then they do the kirtan and very unexpectedly they come to know that there's a kirtan of Bibi Govind Maharaj. So early in the morning, because of the time difference, for them it's early in the morning. Somewhere else Maharaj is there, and when as Bibi Govind Maharaj Kirtan is going on, she slowly tells that I want to leave now, I want to go. And then that's a very emotional moment. But then still they continue to chant, and as they are chanting, they will come to know, and people who nearby realize that yes, left the world with a broad smile on her face and very satisfied that she has achieved what she wanted to do. Like the last line of the bhajan says that, right? With Gauranga Mercy, we can see the vision of Radha and Krishna. And I'm devotees, I'm not telling any story. It's not any exaggeration. It's a story. I would improvise some here and there, but it's a story that is there live in the book, transcribed from an audio recording. And then, of course, obviously, Kirtan becomes bigger and bigger, and they do Aarti. On that day, actually, they perform the morning Aarti, and then after that, she leaves. And devotees are happy, and devotees are also unhappy, and because Kamala left, but they are extremely happy that how she left, and everybody was thinking, "Oh my God, I should also get this ending." But Kamala just didn't get her ending just like that. She made herself to be desirable candidate for that for two reasons: for her service, sincere service, and for trying to capture the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, what she read and what she has seen and what she has heard from great devotees like Mahanidhi Maharaj and other great Maharajas. And she kept it as their greatest treasure. She had a lot of treasure. Materially, she was very opulent, right? Her family was very opulent. But more than that treasure, she treasured that, and that all that baby Bhagat Maharaj came, unlocked the treasure, and gave her such a glorious, glorious exit to now. It's very wonderful, and in some conversations, I really just couldn't stop crying. I'll just tell what are those times when I cried. I cried when Maharaj mentored and trained the children in parallel to Mataji and made them give a lesson. And I think the boy was about 12 and girl is about 8 or something like that. But they're not very old. I cried, how could, the children come to a mother and say these things? That's the point when I cried. And when I cried, when Maharaj came and was asking her, Kamala, are you now getting ready to? So I just couldn't control myself. And the last, of course, last scene when Kamala is saying that Maharaj, I'm seeing, and something I'm seeing that which I want to, which I've been thinking, I'm actually seeing that. And so from part 2 to part 5 or part 6, which are covered, never Kamala complained that she was in pain. That's a, that's the greatest thing. And I'm sure she was having pain. Physically, she was having pain. Obviously, cancer, that's kind of a fourth stage without any treatment, without any painkiller, without any hospice thing. It must be organs, it would have been eating her organs left, right, and center. Stage 4, final stage of a cancer is my wife had seen her uncle going through that, and she keeps telling horror stories about it. So this is the book, dear devotees. So thanks Sumangal Prabhu for his nice bhajan. And the last line of that bhajan triggered these thoughts in me that I wanted to share. So few very key lessons. Whatever good we do, we'll get back. And ISKCON is a great society where you have fantastic opportunities and facilities for us or for everybody to make use of it. We develop so many good relationship, so very selfless, devotion connected relationship where everybody prays for others. And when we go to pilgrimage, or even when we read, when we go to pilgrimage, try not to forget the experience, the spiritual experience, not the material experience, spiritual experience, what we learn, what we have seen, that has to be there in our mind for a long time. We don't know when that is needed to be unlocked. So for me, as I told again, I repeat, my vision of spirit pilgrimage has changed dramatically after Kamala Mataji's thing. So it has been a dear book for me, and I really thank Hamsa Gokul Prabhu for giving me this book, which has triggered so much in me. So I have shared with you whatever I could. Just here and there, some deviations may be there, but I hope I had given you a context of the whole thing. I'll just pause it here for your comment. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much that you have shared such a nice. It's not a story; it's a fact, right? So very open-heartedly you have remembered and shared with us. It's very. I mean, without reading the book, we can get the essence of that book, whole book, in 15-20 minutes time. So thank you so much. And it's really that Brihad Bhagavatam Maharaj is a very big expert. I mean, how expertly he handled the situation, and he is so merciful. He's so
He's very famous.
mercifully.
He's very, like, very famous Maharaj. Bro. He's very
Huh?
famous Maharaj, and
Uh,
luckily enough, he's coming. He's very famous Maharaj for his understanding of the scriptures. He constantly is very sought after Maharaj in the Western world. So he's coming to Damodar Desh to give a workshop also in the October month of October. So we'll be very kind enough to meet Maharaj.
what
Yeah.
is the workshop? What is the name of the workshop, Prabhuji? Subject?
I'm not able to recollect. No, I'm not able to recollect the subject, Prabhu, but something on the spiritual thing. I forgot. It's
Okay.
there in my WhatsApp phone. Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, he's very mercifully has articulated the everything. I mean, very few people will do like this, right? Very rarely Maharajas will do this. So that's very nice things. Mm. Yeah, Gauranga Mahaprabhu's mercy is very important, Prabhuji. That's why whenever we chant, that's why start our chanting, before we start with chanting, we chant Panchatattva mantra, right? That's the purpose, to take the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without that, Nityananda Mahaprabhu, without that, actually, we cannot be successful in chanting. It's not possible. It's very clear, very clear. Mm. Very profound bhajan, yes.
Prabhu, are there any other comments? Before that, I request Sumangal Prabhu to chant the last stanza once again, and we'll also read the meaning. If anyone, after any comment from anyone else, otherwise we can do straight away.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Prabhu, thank you for this great story, Prabhu. Sorry, it's a great thing you've told us today, Prabhu. And Prabhu, I just want to share my one experience with my mother also. Um, I'm sorry to use a private example, personal example, but I could relate to it, Prabhu, because in November when I went to see her for the operation of the hip, she could already feel that she may not be long now in this world. So she already started telling me a lot of things which I should be doing after she goes. Obviously, there were a lot of material things, but also there were a lot of spiritual things. She told me that this is how you have to do things. This is how you have to do things. So I went to that zone where my mother was talking about in the hospital, what all I have to do for her after she goes. So that was quite nostalgic for me. Thanks for sharing the thing. And the other thing is, you spoke about a very good point about when you go for temple visits, and you should focus on the Lord rather than taking pictures. Because I find it very strange. A lot of people focus on taking pictures and selfies, and it becomes more of a game rather than praying to the God. So, Prabhu, honestly speaking, from last two visits to Vrindavan, I have stopped taking pictures. I just focus on the deity and the kirtan which is happening around. That is personally I've started doing that. Secondly, Prabhu, the only thing which I want to, I mean, it's a question also, but it's a fact also that when we go with the family and we go normally when we go to India, some people want to come with us to Vrindavan and we go together as a family. But Prabhu, what happens sometimes? There are kids, there are individuals who have different interests. Now, if suppose I want to spend more time at a certain place, but because of the family thing, sometimes the mind does get diverted, especially if I talk about Bake Bihari Mandir, where it's very crowded always, right, Prabhu? And we go with full intention to see the Lord and praise the Lord and serve Him. But sometimes with the uh, kind of people are there and so much crowd is there, it gets diverted. So, Prabhu, how do we handle such situations? I mean, we want to be the
Yeah,
best in front of the God.
I'll try to give my answer to the best of my ability, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
First
Yes,
is
Prabhu. So
that
that's what I want. Yes, Prabhu.
reading about that place or hearing about that place before we go mentally helps us to tune ourselves. So then that moment, even though it's a small moment, it helps it becomes more valuable. Like sometime back also in this forum I shared, we had conducted a drama 15 years back in Damodar Desh, where I also had a part to play in the drama. So we were describing several dhams in that. So one dham was given to myself, my wife was to describe about Tirupati dham. So between the dialogues, I was supposed to give a complete picture of Balaji Dham, right? So a lot of dialogue was getting written, but I was getting nervous to by heart the big dialogue that editors, writers have given me. So finally, luckily by the grace of God, I could myself pen my own dialogue. So in that, when we talk about, I'll not read the full thing. I'll tell. 7 पर्वतों को चढ़ना है, बालाजी के दर्शन पाना है. संपत्ति को पाना, 7 पर्वतों को चढ़ना है, बालाजी के पास जाना है. अपने पापों को मिटाना है, गोविंदा गोविंदा कहना है. संपत्ति को पाना है, श्रीनिवास के शरण में जाना है. This is a preamble, but the very important line that comes to address your point. अति वैभव स्वयंभू मूर्ति को देखना है, एक ही लम्हे में हृदय में बिठाना है. अति वैभव स्वयंभू को देखना है, एक ही लम्हे में हृदय में बैठना है. So what is this is in Tirupati is so much crowded, right? There are 150,000 people visit every day, so they'll always be pushing. So but if we keep our mind very much focused, I am going to get only a fraction of second to see the Lord today. Not even that probably, but that I have to use it. That's my most precious moment of today. Once after I started applying this principle, once as we enter into the mandir, that hustle bustle or pushing, pulling, shouting doesn't impact us at any time. So that focus one, that is one thing. That's a part one of your question. That's a answer to your second question. First question, Prabhu, it's very, very common, very commonly issue that we all have. Because sometimes we tend to go and plan spiritual yatra in a certain mood and the way we want, but again we have to take care of the family. So there are two answers to that. One is we must take them because it also gives us an opportunity to show them what we are learning in our activities, in our satsang. So normally, if you make them sit in a house and start talking about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they may not like it. But when they see us, the way we are treating devotees, the way we are treating the dham, the way we are honoring the pujaris, the way we are even giving some donations, so that will inspire them sometime. So part of it we must take the relatives, but definitely that has a cost, that is a price to pay. Our own thing, satisfaction has to be sacrificed. But that's the reason why we can balance. Sometimes we can take for some things with relatives, enjoy with them, give them an opportunity to learn about us, learn about the things. And sometimes we can go exclusively with a very close relatives or friends or devotees. So both ways we should plan to visit dhams in both ways, to the extent possible, to the extent our convenience, our finances, our time, and all this. But this is my opinion on this. Hare Krishna. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. It's very clear, Prabhu. And Prabhu, the thing, I mean, I must say this, that, it's so interesting and that makes us further believe in this guru culture, Prabhu, that sometimes you don't want to ask a question, but then I still ask this question. I was not sure if you will answer my question because it's a difficult question to answer, but still you did it so nicely. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
And that is the parampara thing, right? Our knowledge transfers from one place to another. So the conversation was between Kamala Mataji and Prabhupada Bhagavad Maharaj, right? And then it became a book. It went into the hands of so many people, hundreds and thousands of people. And whoever has read it probably sharing with somebody else, right? So that goes on. Yeah. Okay. So Sumangal Prabhu, we want to chant the last stanza and the meaning of that. Yeah. Share it the meaning.
Yeah.
And again, once again, thank you. Because of your shloka, because of your bhajan, we are talking so much about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Prabhuji, what you have said is very right, that preparation before going to a dham, preparation or reading about the dham or talking about the dham or hearing about the dham, I think is very, very important. This gives our mind gets prepared to, to see the Lord, So kind of hankering before seeing the Lord, kind of hankering creates in our mind. That's, I think, very, 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 very important. Very nice point, Prabhuji. So I'll just share my screen and display that. Yeah, this is the version. Make it a little bigger. Okay, it says, I'll just read the translation first, Prabhuji, and then sing it. Yeah. Oh, when there is attachment to the holy name of Krishna, then very easily the life of living being becomes successful. Oh, without affection for Krishna, this life is simply useless. At the end of life, you will obtain the beautiful vision of Radha and Shyama in Vrindavana if the mercy of Lord Gaura is received. So the mercy of Gaura is the key, that is the key to unlock. So when we receive that, then we'll have the darshan of Radha and Shyama. So the song goes like this. Where's my kartal? কৃষ্ণ নামে অনুরক্ত হবে হে, কৃষ্ণ নামে অনুরক্ত হবে হে, অনায়াসে সফল হবে জীবের জীবন, তখন অনায়াসে সফল হবে জীবের জীবন। কৃষ্ণ রতি বিনা জীবন তো মিশে হে, কৃষ্ণ রতি বিনা জীবন তো মিশে হে, বৃন্দাবনে রাধা শ্যামের পাবে দর্শন, শেষে বৃন্দাবনে রাধা শ্যামের পাবে দর্শন। গৌর কৃপা হলে হে, গৌর কৃপা হলে হে, দয়াল নিতাই চৈতন্য বলে নাচে আমার মন, দয়াল নিতাই চৈতন্য বলে নাচে আমার মন। শ্রী গৌর নিতাই কি জয়। হরি বল। Thank you, Prabhuji. You're mute, Prabhuji.
Thanks all for your patient hearing, and I hope that was useful to you. Akshay Khan Prabhu has said thumbs up. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. I hope you are doing well, and how's the little one also catching up and getting naughty and making you laugh and play with her, enjoy. So we'll close this session, Prabhu. Again, once again, I humbly pay my obeisances to all of you for giving this opportunity to speak something that I wanted to do. I hope I've conveyed the message to the best I can.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So just prayer for our Jayajivana. How is she, Prabhuji? Is she doing well now, or?
She's fine, Prabhu.
She's fine. Okay.
She's getting
Let's
better.
pray for
Yeah,
her
fine.
again and pray for. Ishu Prabhu's daughter Myra, and then Jagvan Prabhuji also it doesn't keep well, and then Radhapada Pankaj Prabhu, and let's pray for them and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Myra has done 1 year.
1 year. Myra has completed 1 year. Akanksha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hanji, she completed 1 year on 1st of August.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay then, Prabhuji, we'll close the meeting. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.